This is Michael from NCY Store. We're doing day 2 of troubleshooting why our engine's not cranking over. It's starting, so that's not a problem, so it's just not cranking the whole engine over. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and, first of all, we're still working with our pretty much our dead acid battery. Just want to show you the reading on it here. So just want to aware. And we're trying to test out with the charger, tower charger last time. So we're just going to give it another shot. You can see how low the voltage is. It's 2.97 volts here, this lead acid battery. So what I'm going to do now is actually, we got a new tower charger here. And the other one actually was defective. That's why it only cranked out at 40 amps. It only cranked out a voltage of 1.5 volts because I put the leads directly to the leads. And then at the, this is a Harbor Freight brand, so let's see how this one does. And then at 200 milliamps hour, which I don't recommend for prolong, but it only cranked at about 2.5 millivolts. So let's see if this one actually works. We're going to actually connect the leads directly to it. We also got the heavy duty extension cord plugged in directly to the wall outlet. So we shouldn't have any problem with thinking this might be the brittle wire that we had to face last time. Look how old that one is. It's like a grapevine, a dying grapevine. So this one's a little bit more fresher. So we're going to see if this actually makes a difference in helping us start our scooter. All right, let's see. Hopefully out of the box, not much to assemble. Let's look like the top end here. All right, there's the leads. It's pretty heavy duty. There we go. All right. Okay, let's go and find the power cord. It looks like it's tucked right here in all the snake. We can unwind it. Pretty good, probably looks like 6 feet of power cord. Okay, let me go ahead and put this in to the charger. Okay, there's the on switch there. Should come on. Oh, there we go. Took a little bit of time. Probably brand new, huh? Hopefully we don't have another defect. One too many. Alright, so let's go ahead and unravel our positive and negative cable terminal here. Seems pretty thick, these wires. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to pretty much have it 40 amps going through the battery itself. But before we do that, let's go and just check out the leads here and see if it's actually producing what it said it would. All right, so this is on switch, I believe. There we go. Okay, let's go and take out our alligator clips from our battery directly here. That was 2.79 volts before. And let's see what this one will give us. Now, some of the users said I might have maybe clamped into the plastic housing. Is why it's not contact, but I think it just one-sided of the alligator clips is fine. Okay, so right now it's still at millivolts, so it's reading nothing yet, but let me go ahead and crank it. We're going to do the 12 volts 200 amp is pretty much to help start it, but we're going to do 400 boost. Let's see if I can function it. I think this is the function selector. There we go. I guess this serves no purpose of pushing it directly. You have to push this one button. Okay, so that's 40 amps. And on my voltmeter, I'm still not getting any kind of reading. So let's go 200 amps. Start, stop, function. Let's go 40 again. Maybe we have to push the start button here. The lights are kind of cheesy there. It doesn't really reflect. Okay. Current, voltage, status, on, off. Okay, let's go ahead and hit start. I'm holding it down. There we go. Okay, I'm not getting any voltage. Let me go and hit the start button here, 200 amp. Nothing. Still not actually doing it. Maybe we have to actually detect this on the battery. We know it's a 12 volts and we want at least 10 amps or even 40 better. So I'm not getting any reading here, but let's try to plug it in. It says wrong or something. Maybe it's detecting that it needs to actually status. Let's go in off. Reverse cable, reconditioning, maintenance. Reconditioning, reverse cable. Okay, let's go and plug into the battery itself. And let's see if it can actually... Oh, I actually do have it a little bit reversed. Positive and negative. That's probably why. Maybe it didn't work. There we go. Let's see, try to put it to the positive, and then with negative here. Okay, so now it's there. Didn't realize it was that picky. Normally it just gives us a negative reading, but I guess it won't even let us do that. Okay, let's go and go function again. Select 40 boost. Okay, you can see a little light here. It's kind of a little flimsy, but then again it's Harbor Freight, so to 2.5 millivolts. So let's go and hit start. Wrong. It says wrong. 2.5 millivolts still. Okay. Alright, so it's still wrong. Let's go ahead and take this off. Alright, let's just go ahead and clamp it directly to our battery here and see what it reads. Alright, so we got the positive here. We're going to clamp it. We have to clamp it a little bit into the plastic because there's no way of actually feeding the other lead on the thing. So here we go. That's to the positive. Here's to our negative. Okay. Now I think we're getting something. There we go. Making sure it's actually hitting the metal. So it is hitting the metal. You can see there both of them are scraping the metal on the metal side anyway. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and hit start. Takes a little bit of time. Oh yeah, see it does read it's at 2.1 volts right now. What we're looking for is we're looking for the boost. But before we do that, let's go and hook up our negative terminal here. And we're actually going to take a reading from the solenoid. It's the same as the positive. Okay. Keep again, this is the ones to the right is directly to the battery. So it should have the same reading as the battery. There we go, 2.2 volts. And maybe we'll hit start and see what happens. Reconditioning. Interesting. Oh wow, there we go. Yeah, it's fluctuating all right. This one did something better than the other tower one. Conditioning. Okay, let's see if it has enough juice to turn on our lights now. Before, barely have enough juice here. You see, actually, it did have enough juice here to hit the lights. It's a good sign. There we go. But it's actually at 14.6 volts right now. It's generating. So let's see if this thing cranks over. It's 14.61 volts right now. And then we're going to go ahead and measure it again. It's going to create that connection to power the starter motor line here, the positive one. So we're going to move it right now to it. It's going to say 0, which is fine. But when we crank it over, it should at least have a spike of just a few volts below it, but momentarily. So we're going to go and turn on our kill switch, hold down the brake lever, and let's see how we push it here. Okay, it's still at 14.6 volts. Not enough juice, you could tell. What you could tell is you can see that the starter is making a little hissing noise. You can almost feel it. It's like farting. It's not even enough to actually click it over. The magnet's not even barely making contact to be able to jump it over. So that's why you can see that their voltage is not coming to the other side. Okay, so that's not going to do it. But what I am going to try is I'm going to try to go 12 volts here. Let's try to do 12 volts. Let's see what happens. Let's go stop. It's like a washing machine, I think. And then you have to go function. Okay, this is hope to jump start it. Here we go. Push it. Boy. Okay, let's see what our leads are saying now. Okay, it's climbing. The voltage is climbing very fast. This is on the positive lead, so it's not where the crank start solenoid is. Okay, okay, there we go. We're hearing the sound now. Now we're gonna give it a crank. Turn on scooter. Nothing. All right, let's turn this off before we burn anything else. All right, so that ain't gonna do it. We try to salvage this wire. We try to salvage this battery. So it's not gonna do it. Now it's time to actually put the Shorai in there. Thing about Shorai battery is just be careful. Make sure you use a lithium charger for it. We have a smart charger coming as well, because what we did was I think we kind of overcranked it below its resting voltage, which is about 12.85 volts. So this is the one that we had that we tried to kept on cranking and cranking. Now it doesn't even charge past 10.5 volts. You can see here, I'm gonna put my tester here. I'm gonna take this off. We're gonna go ahead and disassemble this battery off the terminals. But yeah, you can see here, doesn't really matter if I put positive here or negative there. You'll just have a negative voltage reading, but ignore the negative symbol. You can see here it's now at 9.88 volts. So when you actually put it back in the correct polarity, it should say 9.9 volts. See, there's no negative. That's all it is. It's not going to explode or anything, your voltmeter. However, this could probably burn your testing wires, because 200 amps going through these little thin wires could definitely probably do it over the long haul. This is great, I guess, if you're jump starting your car battery and stuff like that. But we have a, I believe it's Norco Genius charger. That's the name of it. And we're going to go ahead and see if we can actually get this back to full 13.89 volts. That's normally around high 14. Pretty much upper 13s, or pretty much in the highs 14 volts. But so far this isn't gonna do it, because we tried to put it in at 10.5 volts and it still only has enough power to power the lights and look like it's cranking over, but not enough yet to actually start the scooter. So here's a brand new Shorai battery we're gonna go ahead and install in there. And this one out of the box, we haven't even charged it yet. It is recommended to charge it first before installing it, but I just want to show you if it actually, we're going to test it out, see if it actually can crank the scooter just right out of the box. There we go. It comes with, there we go, I'll give you a little demo on the Shorai charger. It comes with all these great stuff. Make sure, again, do not use these regular standard acid or gel chargers on there. It has to say lithium, and it has to pretty much produce pretty much no more than about 2 amps. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and put the probe in there. You can see it, what the voltage is right out of the box. It is recommended to charge it fully to at least it's 14 volts higher. But since, there we go. See if I can tuck it in there. See, this is out of the box right there. It's measuring at 13.37 volts. Ignore the negative because I have the polarity of the probes again crisscross. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just put it in there, and we're gonna actually see how much better, or if it can even crank the scooter over with just the charge that it has currently, 13.37. Anything over 1285 or so should be a good amount of charge there, where we can crank or scoot over 1275. So let's go ahead and get the socket to remove this. It takes a 10 millimeter. There we go. Move the socket. Loosen it up. See all my ground wiring there. And again, if this doesn't work, this charged battery right here, it's enough, should be enough to crank it over. If it still doesn't work, then we have something issue with our timing, because we have spark, so that mainly conclude that our CDI is good, and also our stator, it's spinning the flywheel and indicates that's probably should be still good, because it's creating enough juice there. So it's pretty much has to do either with the battery, not enough. We've been using like old batteries, 5 years old, and trying, you know, revive it, see if we can actually jump start it, to actually now putting a new battery here. Okay, so we'll move this little thin film here. You can see here these things are sticky. You can reuse them again, by the way, to actually, if you're going to store it, maybe mention a cool temperature area, keep the humidity out. A lot of people can put them in like a cool, sort of a kind of a freeze to keep them prolonged. There we go. I'm not sure if I can use these bolts on these. I think they're standard thread size. Yeah, they are. We can use these bolts for right now. They come with their own bolt set. Here we go. Just want to show you. There you go. They come with their own. Let's just use this new one. That way we avoid any kind of old rust or contact. So let me go ahead and open this one up. It comes with 4 bolts in case you decide to go on the other side of it and bolt it on. And it comes with 4 washers. So we'll bring out 2 washers and 2 bolts. Okay. Now we're gonna go ahead and try to our best here to show you how it's mounted. Oop. Okay, I'm gonna go and try and mount it on there right now. What I use is a Phillips. It's easier just to hold it with Phillips. Now we're just going to do a dry installation. Normally you'll see me put the electric grease, but again, we just want to test everything out first before we kind of sealed it down with proper grease. There we go. And then I take my Phillips. Once I get it on there, I go like that with the Phillips first. Tighten as much as I can. You could probably tighten all the way with a Phillips, but I prefer to have it really tightened with a socket. Okay. Oh, forgot the washer. That's okay. You normally would put the washer, for example. I put the bevel side toward the nut, and I put the flat side pretty much against the terminal. There we go. Or facing the terminal. All right. We'll take a voltage reading again on this, just to make sure. You can see it's still 13. We're going to do it actually from the battery terminal of the solenoid. There we go. Tight. It's still a lot loose. There we go. Now it's tight. You don't want to do it too hard, because again, these are just elbow shaped. They can actually maybe bend a little too much. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and hook up our terminal. And we're going to see how the voltage is testing before we try to crank the scooter over. And I probably forgot to turn off the kill switch, so I'll do it now. Okay, here we go. We're going to go and hook up the leads here. We're going to use alligator clips again. There we go. Positive, then we're going to get our negative alligator clips. We're going to put the negative here. There's one ground wire we missed. That's okay. We're going to tuck it. I think this is just a ground wire, I believe. Let me see. Oh, actually, it's one important wire. So we need to actually bolt this back on. There's a good chance now I can put the washer on there. Okay. Go and put that with the washer back. See if I can unscrew it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So if the power supply or negative, we want to make sure in case it doesn't have any other ground. It needs a ground, especially if it's a wiring harness negative. We want to make sure it connects to the battery terminal. If it's not already connected on all over the frame. All right, now we got that on there. And we're going to go ahead and measure the voltage output. Going to clean this up a little bit. Doesn't need righty-tighty. Alright, there we go, snugged. Alright, so now what we're going to do is go and test the voltage coming out of it. So we're going to just go ahead and put our negative leads here. It's good contact. Let's see, try to get a bigger piece of it. It's fine. There we go. Alright, so we got the negative lead there. And now on the positive lead here, we're going to check out the voltage coming from the solenoid again. All right, see, it's still 13.11 volts. Again, it's very scary. We might have to be able to do like 2 cranks before we stop, because we don't want it to happen again where we kill the cell. Down to this lowest, again, 1285 is pretty much is below its resting voltage. That's when you're going to start seeing cell damage if you keep trying to crank it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Scooter is on, and you can see there's power and enough there to power our lights, so everything's connected. So let's go ahead and turn on our gas just for good luck, huh? We're gonna need some gas, things we need. Gas line is actually on. I made a mistake last time. It was actually here, this position, which closes it up. It's obvious that when it's straight like this, I mean, the gas is flowing. So you can tell it's flowing because when I push it this way, you can see the air bubble. Oh, not anymore. But yeah, you can see a little bit, it's going up. That means it allows it to pass through. Now if I close it like this, and I squeeze it, you won't see any. See that? It just stays stuck right here because it's closed. So now it's actually flowing back. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start the engine, and we're gonna find out for you if this will work. We're gonna hold down this power button, we're gonna hit the brakes, and here we go. Now we're gonna move this actually to the right lead. We're gonna move it here. That way we can see what the voltage is when we crank it. So back to where we were again. Okay, we still have the Shenyi starter here, which is really nice. Okay, we're gonna turn everything on, hit the switch, and let's see what this will do. Okay, so it's not really turning it on. Oh, there we go. See a little bit of smoke now. We don't want to over crank it, so that's it. So I think what it is probably something to do with the cylinder head. We're gonna have to probably pretty much take both shocks out, lower the engine, take out the valve cover, and inspect the timing on our cylinder head. So that's what's causing it right now. Okay, so let's see the voltage of the battery, how it is now, health-wise. See, it's 13.4 volts, so it's still good. We are below that, well, you can't see it, sorry. See, it's still above the threshold of 12.85 volts. Now I can say maybe we should charge this first to its full high 13s, close to 14 volts, and try it again. I really doubt it. I think it has nothing to do with the high torque starter motor, or, well, the battery for sure needs to be replaced anyway, but I don't think it has to do with just the high torque starter motor. I think it has to do with pretty much our cam chain. When I did install it, it was pretty tightened. It wasn't using a 46 link change, so I might have to break the chain instead of cracking the crankcase open and putting a 47 link change. Gives it pretty much another link to give it some more slack so it can close the camshaft without putting so much pressure. Maybe that's what's causing it to offset. When we tightened down the cam chain, there was not even a needed, but it was forcing it even further to bend the sprocket of the camshaft. And maybe that's what's causing our timing to be off. Not our lashes, or, you know, where we're setting our intake valves at 0.004 and 0.005 on the exhaust, but I think it has to do with something with the timing, maybe threw off. Once we put the cam chain tensioner on there, it forces the chain to bend a little further than it can actually, you know, do. So we're gonna go ahead, and in our next video, we're gonna show you pretty much how to we're gonna have to take off both of our shocks, because what it is if you notice there, the engine, it hits the top of this right here, and you cannot take it out. You have to actually lower it just a little bit so we can actually take the valve cover off. So the engine will flex forward, meaning it'll teeter tot like this. As soon as we take both of these shocks off, we can either go for the bottom or the top one. I think we maybe just go for the bottom one here, the bottom bolts here, and that will relieve the tension. And then we can start turning our scooter inward, making sure our exhaust doesn't take the bottom hit, and then we'll take the bottom off here too, and that way we can go ahead and see the scooter is tied to a swing arm, so we're going to go ahead and lift off the swing arm, and that way it'll sit over here, and we're going to show you pretty much a lot of stuff. We're going to be able to show you how to change the retainer valve springs, the, you know, titanium retainers itself, and we're going to probably do a lot more changes to it. We might even upgrade the carb to a PWK carb, show you how to change the throttle cable to a PWK throttle cable. So a few things we might even do differently, but I just want to see first, one last attempt. We're going to go ahead and try to get this battery charged to this highest point Put it back on there with the Shenying high torque starter motor. If it still doesn't crank over, more than likely, we don't want to do too much more to it. We need to actually take open the cylinder head and inspect it and see where the cam chain is and the timing on this. So that's the only reason I could think of right now.